yo.
Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Hello, children. I'm Pastor Ted. Get ready. I'm going to read the Bible. You're going to hear a story. Today's story is about Jesus' disciples and apostles. When you and I learn about Jesus in school or in Kids Club, we are disciples. When we tell others about Jesus, then we are apostles. Jesus had hundreds of disciples, but on the day of Pentecost, those disciples became apostles, and 12 of them are special. Look at this painting. Can you find Jesus? There he is in the center. This was painted by Leonardo da Vinci in Italy many hundreds of years ago, and it tells the story. I'm going to read it in John chapter 13, verse 21. Jesus in the center speaks and says, "Very truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." All the disciples get upset. Can you see how upset they are? Now we have a copy of this painting in our Cross and Crown Church. You should walk around and look at the walls. See if you can find a copy of this painting, The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Now, we're going to tell the story of one of Jesus's disciples. This disciple is not seated at the dinner. His name is Matthias. Remember that the disciple Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus and then died by hanging himself, and so the disciples needed to replace him, so they would have the number 12. 12 is a very special number. And so they selected among the 120 or so disciples of Jesus that had gathered two. One was Matthias, the other was Joseph Barsabbas. They said, "Holy Spirit, help us make this decision." And so they cast lots, which is kind of like throwing dice, in hopes that the Holy Spirit would help make a clear decision. And the lot fell, or the dice fell, to Matthias. So Matthias became an apostle. Now, this is curious. Judas was a disciple, but because he was dead, he never became an apostle. And Matthias, who had been a disciple but not one of the inner 12, he became a member of the inner 12 and became an apostle. Matthias then traveled preaching the gospel of Jesus. He made one trip to Ethiopia in Africa, and then he made another trip going east to a place we call Georgia, but it's not Georgia in the United States. It's Georgia just south of Russia over by the Caspian Sea. And there he got into trouble. Some people did not want to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, so they put him to death, and they used a battle axe to cut his head off. Isn't that awful? Every one of those apostles ran into trouble at one point or another. Well, we remember St. Matthias then with the symbol of the Bible and the battle axe. So whenever you see the Bible and the battle axe together, you can think of St. Matthias, the apostle of Jesus.
Young folks, old folks, everybody come to Kids Club and have a lot of fun. Please check your chewing gum and raisins at the door, and we'll tell you Bible stories that you never heard before. Goodbye, kids.